over candidate moves. I tried earlier and I kind of messed up a little bit. Um, I was not feeling like myself. I kind of was asked why I'm playing bots and not people, and a little bit of stuff kind of made me think about like I have to stop caring. I'm sorry if you know. I'm gonna go ahead and just get started, and let's go ahead with this. So what I'm going to be doing today is trying to find different moves, finding moves that I think are good, that I like, and try to explain the best I can. I'm gonna play against this bot because, well, first off, it's simple and it'll be easy to explain, and she's aggressive, so you kind of have to constantly look for tactics. Custom, just bot chat. Play as random. See if I can do games that way. So, all right, it's saying waiting for me, which is a little bit weird. So that means it has not started. It's saying it is waiting for me. Okay, so it did start. Okay, good. I thought it was messing up again. Queen's pawn is all right. I like to meet it with knight to f6. Depending on your play style, you can play d5. You can play knight f6. I mean, you can play crazy gambit if you wanted to. If you like gambits, that's an actual move. I like knight to f6. Okay. There's different responses. If they played c4, I played the Budapest. If yeah, so this right here is perfectly fine. And if they played knight to c6, I usually play d6 and try to fianchetto. This move right here, usually I like to play something simple, getting ready to check and take the bishop. Okay. Bishop to and bring it back. Bring the pawn up. Have a nice little fortress going on. Very simple. Just go ahead and get my fortress, and then maybe even move this back to bring the queen in to attack here. Now, this right here might be to come this direction. If I move back, you can just take it. But because I can't castle in kingside, if I take it, I'll take it back off the f pawn, so my rook would have something to attack. So I'm just gonna go with that. Okay. There's also this where I can move all the way back instead. Because of this move here, I feel that it's better if I give myself some breathing room. Give me 1 second. I want to try and delete something. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take. Should I take? I don't know. You know what? This would be better off actually. Because if I take it now, I was just taking it. This right here allows a trade that would make me win a pawn. Yeah, so I prefer to win a pawn than just trade. So instead of just taking, I'd rather do that. Let's see here. I don't think it's in a castle king side. The pawns are really bad, and this pawn over here. I'm a little confused on where she plans the castle. I'm thinking about moving my queen here instead of my original plan because not. I don't think in the castle king side at all. This would allow me to target this square and this square. The knight can actually come in at some point. I'm going to get started with that. Sometimes you don't have a crazy attack, but you can plan for an attack down the line. And this right here plans for an attack down the line. I can't do anything immediately. If I play knight g4 now, he can just move up. So just kind of keep an eye on that. I don't want to allow him to. Actually, it won't stop it. I'm sorry. This hero would. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong pawn. This would not stop it. That would be me. Sorry about that. This right here is the one that will stop it. I touched the wrong pawn. So pretty much I can't. It'll be blocking off the queen. Well, taking. He takes back. Still defended by the bishop, so that won't work. All right, so let's see here. Let's see here. What to do, what to do. I don't really see much moves that can be beneficial right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna march up the pawns and try to start some trouble. Maybe even move my knights back here. But I'm not sure where exactly my knight should go, so I'm not gonna do it yet. This is a fork. That was a blunder. That's very common for people I've seen under 800 usually. It's easy to fork pawns. Okay, here I'm gonna take back because right now he's threatening my bishop, but I also can attack his queen, counter attack his queen instead of taking right now. So I'm gonna do with that. That looks a little bit more dangerous. I did consider this though. I can take. And now attack the rook. And one of the chess principles is basically having the rooks on open files. So the rook is on an open file, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to double up them. Rooks are good on open file. It's a good idea if you can have both of them on it. I don't see an immediate tactic, but it would lead to some type of attack later on because they're supporting each other. And it'll make it easier to come in when the time is right. Okay. Best way to continue. I look for different weaknesses. I kind of want to put my knight there if I can, but the problem right now is I won't be defended and the queen's here. The reason I want to put my knight here is because it'll stop the pawn from moving forward. It'll lock in the rook. The rook won't be able to get out. This bishop, would have to there'll be a couple moves before it can make a move. So I want to be able to put my knight there, but I don't see how to right now. If I move my pawn up, my queen, that'll take 4 moves, and by that time, all he has to do is move the pawn up. So there's no point in planning that because she can immediately just stop it with just playing e4. So because of that, I'm going to find a different move or a different idea. Also, this right here would lead to a fork. That's a tactical issue. So to continue, I'm going to have to, let's see here. What if I decide just to take? I'm already a pawn up. I'm not a pawn up. I'm already a piece up. That would actually be a good idea. It'll take these pieces and open up the position a little bit more, and I would be able to attack better if I did that. So, all right. I'm going to start making moves on the queen side. I already have control over this. Now I'm going to start attacking the queen side and try to see if I can use my pieces to make more weaknesses. Okay. Now here's what I talked about. I feel that it'd probably be better just to stack a piece for 2 pawns. I don't have an attack going on right now, but this right here would allow me to get attack. All right. My rooks. Can't do anything with that yet. That'll be check. Queen takes. Check. King moves over. Yeah, I can't go here because the rook. Queen, bishop, and then that will be a better way to attack. So I move my queen out the way. This would be even better probably because it's kind of x-raying everything. The bishop can't move. Okay. Attacking the rook, and then this would be able to attack the queen this way. All right, so everything opened up, and I started looking for tactics immediately. Yeah, because when everything's open and you have pieces like this working together, and you have your bishops available, it is very good to open up the position. Now here, I'm thinking about either taking or moving the queen back. The queen back will be a check, forcing the king to move. If I were to take, yeah, that would be pretty good. If that happens that way, she can also block this way, which if that happens, I'll just take the rook for free. I say free because if she takes back, we'll be losing the queen. So she did. And like I said, this was a good idea because now if I take, king takes back, I take the bishop. The x-raying part is really strong. I mentioned it down here. I didn't mention up here, but it was the same thing. And that should be mate. Yeah, these are really strong together on the 7th for sure. You hear about both rooks being strong, but the queen and rook is actually very strong too. And for that reason. I guess I'll play a game. 10-minute game. It says I cannot accept it. All right, so I'm not sure what happened, but it says I cannot accept this challenge at the moment. I do not know why. All right, I guess I'll go back to my computer. Oops, I play. All right, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I thought it was on a computer thing. That works too. Let's go ahead. U4. C5, Sicilian. I play knight F3. All right. That move order can lead to the French. If I play like that can lead to some type of French lines. Very similar. But I want to keep it open. So I'm going to see if I can try to trade. Yeah. Do the trade instead of trying to knight to C3, defends the pawn. Like the idea of trying to find attacks, but right now I don't see any. He's blocking my knight from coming in this way, which is perfectly fine because when I attack, I like attacking on the king side if I can. So I prefer not to move here. I'm going to go ahead and play bishop to d3. Finding an active square for your bishop is important I normally like c4, but after the pawn move and I take, and let's say he takes back, my bishop would have to move again, and this pawn just in the way, and I like to actually attack. So, actually not be too bad, actually. I don't like the pawn formation now, but if he were to move up, that'll be an isolated pawn, and I have to move my knight out. That actually, I don't like the idea of it immediately, but I'm actually liking it now. I normally would play bishop d3 here and try to bring my queen up and maybe castle queenside and then start smashing pawns because his queen side is messed up, so he's going to castle kingside. So I kind of like preparing that ahead of time. So this maneuver, or the flow one. I want to do the flow one. I'm very used to these positions, so I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna play the position I'm used to and comfortable with because I don't really see the point in trying to play something I'm not comfortable with. And this is fine because if he goes down, I can just move my knight over. It's really not a big deal. And I'm not going to castle immediately because I want to reserve the ability to play king f2 just in case king side is too dangerous for me. I haven't been able to calculate too well these pawn pushes to determine who's going first. I've learned a little bit about it, so I do feel comfortable giving it a go. Okay. So queenside pawn storm. He attacks the center. This knight, I would prefer over here because if he tries to kick it out, I can just trade one of his defending pieces. This knight wasn't doing anything where it was. Now it's active. So him trying to kick it out of there just made it active. If he kept the pawn there, I couldn't move my knight in to attack. So that he created an issue for himself with that. And I'm not going to trade it because that made it easy. He would just take it back with the queen. And I kind of want to leave pressure on the board. If I move here, you can block. Let's see here. You also can move this direction, which I can move the bishop down. If he moves this direction, my knight's covering that square. Okay, all seems pretty well. I like the idea of just, but if I do this, the knight would end up guarding the square here. So what do I want to do? I can also push this up first. Yeah, if I push this up first, then g-pawn, he can't take because the rook. So I like this, blocking off his escape square with the knight. So I had to figure out what I wanted and why and how. So I got an idea. Okay, so that's what he's going for. I can just move it back, and I'll just be castling queenside. I don't think I'll be moving to f2, unless this becomes too dangerous. Excuse me. All right. Might be planning to come down or capturing. So let's pretend he comes down. I can easily move here. It's just fine. If he captures, I can just capture back. I probably have the bishop because if he takes, I can take back. And this would be a pretty good. Let's say he moves down, I move up. Or if I castle and he plays this move, then move down. All right, so I have different ideas, different thoughts. I can simply just attack his knight. And if he comes down for any reason, take, queen takes, and take back, pawn up. I'm trying to think of an attack that I can do here. If I were to castle, he can just stop it. So I don't want to castle. I don't like this either because it blocks in my bishop. I don't like either of them, to be honest. So if I were to take and he were to take back, my bishop will be vulnerable. So if I take, I'm vulnerable. If he takes or pushes. So basically this move has to be very precise. What about taking his bishop? If I take his bishop, he takes back. And then I move up, taking the knight, and come down. Then I take his knight, threatening his queen, and that changes things. So that changes a lot of it. Being precise is super important. I'm not super good at it, but I definitely do make the effort. And hopefully each time I make the effort, I find better stuff and I learn from it. That's pretty much kind of what I'm trying to do with my games. So here I can just, if I move up and he takes, I take back. And if he can take either way, but it'll at least open up a little bit of something, this or this. But if he opens up on this side, his king is still pretty safe. And this pawn is under attack. So it doesn't look like something I should be doing right now. And I don't want to take this pawn because he will just attack my bishop. So I'll let him move down, move my bishop away. Or even move my bishop outside the chain, pawn chain. That's actually because this right here will create a pawn chain or a pawn, blockade. And my bishop will be inside of it. Bishops outside of pawn chains is a principle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and attack this pawn here and make it more active. Okay, this is perfectly fine. I would take back with the bishop. I have to look out for discovered because of the same file. He can't discover check me because it's on the opposite color of his bishop. So I'm not worried about it. So this is perfectly fine. Okay, I can actually take this pawn for free and then move it back, attacking this pawn and also indirectly attacking his king. So he's giving me a little bit back. Like he's starting to mess up a little bit. He's starting to mess up a little bit. But it's still anyone's game. I just have to I have to just continue playing well, is pretty much. As long as I continue playing well, I should win. If we both play just as well, I think. Because I have a lot of space. I'm attacking his king. My pieces are more active. His are passive. So if I keep playing well, I should be able to find an attack against his king. And I think I'm going to start with, if I were to do this now, he takes, I take. He wouldn't be able to take with his knight because of my bishop. That was an idea before. So now he'll be forced to take with his pawn if that's the case. And then my bishop can go here. Can it? Oh, no, he would take the bishop. He'll take both bishops if I do that. So basically, if I want to do that, I want to castle and get my rook here. Therefore, if I do that, I win a piece altogether. So I'm going to go ahead and try to see if he realizes it as I get my pieces together. And even if he does, I still have more firepower. So even if he blocks it, I still have more attackers on his king. So it's still good for me regardless. Yeah, a plan that if it doesn't work out as bad for you isn't a good plan at all. You should never play that plan. That's just not how you should play chess. You have to, if you have a plan, it should benefit you regardless if the plan works out or not. Or at least not make you worse. All right, move the rook over. So now if I come over. Oh, this. Oh, it's not. Never mind. For some reason, I thought the piece was pinned, but the bishop's on the wrong diagonal. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over. I'm actually really low on time. Really low on time. So I have to start. I should have did this when I said 3 minutes. I should have started playing more and talking less. Is what I should have been doing. So go ahead. Yeah, to avoid lots of tactics. That's pretty much all I have to do for now, and try to find a way to attack his king. I played lots of bullet games, 1-minute games, so this should be fine. Look at ideas that he might have. This attacks the bishop. This move attacks the bishop. Okay, that's perfectly fine. That actually helps protect my king a little bit because the rook can't attack this way. So that kind of benefited me a little bit. Oops, wrong one. Okay, he's not doing that. Okay. That's a fork. I can defend both. I should put my rook in here and get to control the open file. That should be a good idea. That's not good. If I take and he takes back, it would open this up and we can trade. Okay, that works too. And 30 seconds. Pre-move trades is really helpful when you're in low time control, by the way. You don't have to pre-move any move because you can blunder that way, but pre-move captures are usually okay. The king and rook should be in opposite colors because I don't have time to calculate forks. I do not. That was not a good idea. I completely forgot the rook. I was worried about the knight forking, that I just dropped the ball on that. It's not reconnecting. That's not good. Yeah, I lost on time. That's sucky, man. I did a trap for his rook too. If he were to take the pawn, that is really sucky. Yeah, that 10 seconds with this, that should be easy just to block the king out, and yeah, that sucks. That really sucks. Yeah, the king can't come in. Like that would be easy win. Ah, all right. Well, yeah, it happens, I guess. All right. Overload. All right. So that's pretty much it. Oh, I got it. All right. I gotta get going, I guess, since it's not working. All right. Thank you for your time. Hopefully, you enjoyed something or learned something from it. All right. Yes, like and subscribe. Mhm.